Welcome to the Luke and Pete Show. Pete Donaldson with you, joined by Mr. Lukey Moore. Luke, would you like to live in a water tower?
Yeah,
why not? An old water tower. I would love
this land-loving life.
I know. Well, no, just like a kind of, like one of those kind of like on the edge of the town, but still, still accessible for like sewage and electricity and stuff.
No, I don't want sewage.
Just a bit. Well, a place for you to expel sewage. A big converted water tower, nice and high, or like one of those log cabins you get for people who do fire watches in like Colorado or California.
Well, I often fantasize about this type of life, and then every single person that knows me, without exception, whether I say I'd like to move to the Lake District and do nothing, or I'd like to go to the Highlands and become a bird spotter, or
do they boo-boo you?
They always go. You'd last like fucking 20 minutes, and then you'd be on the phone saying you're bored and want to come home. And the reason that annoys me is obviously because it's true, but also because it makes me sound like such a one-dimensional person, which of course I suppose in the grand scheme of things I probably am. So it's painful for me to contemplate these types of things because I know I'll never do it. Yeah,
there's somebody in the comments of our YouTube about the predictions for the World Cup because I predicted Japan to go quite deep. I like Japan and I make that my whole personality, and I was like, I can't deny it.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Yeah,
wrestling. You like wrestling.
Fine. Yeah, but when something kind of dominates, and it's basically you've got. I know what I sound like when someone talks about some food, and I go, oh well, in Japan they do. I know what that sounds like. It sounds like I'm bumming a waifu pillow, while just watching some Japanese adult videos and
all of which you've done.
All of which I've done, but pixelated, no thank you. Did you say that they've started using AI to remove the pixels, which is just...
Why do they pixelate it?
I don't know, some antiquated fucking anti-prostitution law probably. It seems to be like...
But it doesn't seem to me why anyone would ever want to watch it, because there's so much other proper stuff accessible.
I don't know, maybe it's kind of like... it's context, isn't it, I suppose? If the thing you can't see makes it even more sexy.
Don't say that to me again,
makes
please.
It even more sexy.
Which
is ironic because when I was in Japan last week, I saw a world record amount of penises because I stayed in 2 onsen hotels, and onsen hotels are just basically blokes walking around with their genitalia out. So
why'd you choose to stay there then?
It's because it's a kind of it's a thing that you do when you go to Japan. It's kind of historically important that Japanese people love having a public bath.
Did you have your old lad out as well, or?
I mean, I lad out as well, yeah, in the plunge pools.
Hang on. So basically, not only have you've been gone to Japan for a week, which you claimed was for work, right? You've basically just been knocking about with your cock out the whole time.
Well, is that not work? Making sure it's
depends on the type of work, mate.
No, it's just a hotel, and then in the evening, before sundown, you pop it.
Just work all day. Knob out all night.
You pop into the bath. Well, knob out all day if you think about the time difference. I've got my knob out at a very unseasonable time. A very
What time on average were you getting your penis out in Japan? Tell me the time.
Once in the morning, once in the evening. I was very well washed. Let's put it that way.
So when you're getting your knob out at like 7 p.m,
yeah,
that's like 11 a.m. here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's 8 hours. So yeah, that was.
So it's exactly what I said then.
It's exactly what you said.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you look on the computer?
No.
You looked at the computer. How do you know what the time difference is?
I did. I guessed. I just guessed at 8 hours.
Okay. All right, fine.
Because I'm always there when you talk about it. That's why.
But yeah, just had my knob out.
I don't mind cutting about naked. It's fine. I've got no self-consciousness about it.
There was a very chatty British Asian guy who was just in the pool, just talking to everyone, and I felt like going,
is that the done thing or not?
And I felt like it was fun because it was kind of he had quite a thick accent, which made it quite difficult for the Japanese people to understand what he was saying, and the Chinese people to understand what he was saying.
Would they broadly speak English as a second language or not really?
Chinese more than Japanese probably, and he was just getting very short shrift from people. I did feel like, oh mate, like talk to me. I'll talk to you. I can understand what you're saying, and I mean, you shouldn't be talking. Yeah, it's very.
You're not supposed to talk.
Yeah, it's a very quiet, kind of solemn. We're just relaxing, enjoy the smell of sulphur from the volcano below, from the magma below and just enjoy. We went to this town actually that had basically holes in the ground that steam just fucking piled out of. It was like living
in New Zealand.
It was like a sort of living in a big geyser, and obviously they were using it for cooking and all the things you would use sitting on a geothermal a big hot bit of ground. But the problem was they do their sort of pipe coursing to gain electricity and all that stuff. But it was only like 3 or 4 buildings in this town. But every time it rained or every time there was an earthquake, the holes would change and the steam would come out different holes. Right. It just felt like a really sort of just
like whack-a-mole.
Just fucking move, man. The whole place just stank of sulfuric steam.
Yeah,
and it was just
really. That in New Zealand, have you heard of it?
Absolutely. I haven't, but I presume it's the similar sort of vibe.
It smells really weird.
Yeah.
I played football with a guy in New Zealand who fell into one of those geezers.
Ooh,
he had a big scar all up his leg. Yeah. But aren't you supposed to not be in those onsens if you've got tattoos, by the way?
Yeah, that's kind of I think they...
Well, they've relaxed that rule now.
What I do is just get a very big, what do you call the bloody, yukata, the little robes. Get a very long yukata and then you can just hide, because I'm only tattooed on my legs, get a bit long yukata, they can't really see my tattoos, and then I go in and then they can't stop me. Because I'm wet then, aren't I? You can only see my knob. You come in here and tell me off because you want to look at my knob? Pathetic. Now who's the deviant?
Would they stop you if they saw them?
They would if you gave them. I think some places you would, some places you didn't. I think they were quite relaxed about this one because there was quite a lot of Western tourists. But the more kind of traditional ones, they'd have an issue.
And it's the number one. Yakuza?
Yeah, it's the number one question that people ask on the old Abroad Japan podcast. Is that we've literally said if you email it in, your email's never going to get read out because we've answered it so many times. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. It's getting better. Don't worry about it. Try it out. If you can't try it out, people just. I think when people are spending that much amount of money to go somewhere, they want it to be perfect, and they want it, indulge in all of the sins of the hot flesh. Yeah.
I wish I'd known in advance that when I thought of you being in Japan when I was back here, that I could think of you naked.
So many winkies I've seen.
I mean, I've seen you in work with trousers on that are so tight that I know what it is to see you naked.
What it is, like a punch bowl. Yeah.
So it's no difference really. Peter, changing the subject ever so slightly, we had a chat about a while back about AI podcasts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And they'll never drink wine. No. They'll never drink wine and have a terrible performance.
Have 3 days off. I podcasted worse. It's one of the worst. You've got to say it's one of the worst sentences ever uttered. That.
Yeah. Have you seen the?
I felt worse. I podcasted worse.
Podcast it worse. What does he say? Like, what does he do in podcasts? Like, I must admit, I've barely sort of listened to that show, but it doesn't. He doesn't seem to sort of. It's not like he doesn't press his guests really, especially when they're coming out with some fucking cod science bollocks.
He's not clever enough. It's like that Chris Williamson guy. They're just not clever enough. Like they try and that Chris Williamson show is called Modern Wisdom. He's one of the thickest people on the internet. Like, I thought I'd check one of his shows out a while back because I thought, people like it. What's it all about, kind of thing. And I ended up sitting through a good few minutes of his guest explaining to him what Chekhov's gun was.
Right, okay.
So you don't even know what that is. Why am I going to listen to anything else?
Well, I used Chekhov's gun as a reference on one of the Wrestle Me shows, and Mark, a few months later, admitted that he'd not heard the term Chekhov's gun.
That cannot be true. Mark is a successful writer.
And Mark is probably the best, the best read, man. I mean, he went to public school, for crying out loud. They're just constantly reading that lot.
Somewhat.
And it's like, and I just sort of think, how has he managed to do that? And I think he may be putting me on to make me feel better about my stupidity. I genuinely believe that.
I find that extraordinary that someone of Mark Hayes' level.
I do too. I think he's just trying to be nice.
I guess everyone's got gaps in their knowledge, so maybe I should just be kinder to Chris Williamson. I'm not inclined to be, but maybe I should do.
Yeah.
But people also misconstrue Chekhov's gun as well because they think it's just about the gun, right? But it's not just about the gun.
Didn't Chekhov come back?
It's about story. It's about things in the stories being necessary, and anything that's not necessary shouldn't be in the story. That's basically what it's saying.
I'm fairly certain Chekhov even nailed it, not idiom, isn't it? The kind of the metaphor, the principle of the metaphor. He nailed it even further by saying it wasn't even about that. It was just literally like, don't fucking just. He basically said, I don't like a cluttered stage.
Stop dicking about with stuff.
Stop dicking about with stuff, for crying out loud. Just fucking do it.
Back in the day, there when not everything had already been invented, so you could just come up with stuff, and people are like, wow, that's fucking good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Like
I do find that I do believe that you can't. It's harder to do stuff now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's harder to come up with new stuff. I think it's harder to come up with stuff, and we consume so much more stuff. Like we'd average, like, you know, I'd average obviously a lot fewer books than everybody else, but like I would average a couple of films a month. Maybe a few books a year. Like that's what I'd average pre-internet, right? And then internet.
You're just talking about reading and watching.
Yeah, but like consuming. Yeah, I'd read newspapers and stuff. But before the internet, we just didn't have as much stuff going in. We're processing stuff all the time.
I often think this about pop music in the 60s, right? Like the British invasion to the US, it was essential. I mean, there were some really good artists, right? And I'm not denying that. Obviously, Beatles, Stones, all the rest of it.
But you could get away with a lot.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of bands and artists where the manager or the kind of singer or whatever is like, right, all we actually need to do here is dress quite well, be relatively handsome, and just rework a blues song. And all of a sudden, 100,000 people will buy our fucking record, right? Yeah. That is not possible now. No question about it. Yeah. But you know, things be like I also think that with Occam's razor, right? You know, Occam's razor. You know that the most obvious explanation is normally the correct one, right? The solution,
which is 99% the truth, like 99%.
But my point
applicable
being,
to every situation.
Yeah, like the one that it requires the fewest assumptions essentially is normally the thing that's true, right?
Yeah.
What year do you think that was coined by William of Occam?
I don't know when he was kicking a ball, to be honest. Late 1800s.
Late 1800s. Reasonable guess. Right. That's fair enough. I think that's a reasonable guess. The answer is about 1320.
Is that when he was going? When he was doing his stuff?
He died in 1347.
Bloody no! Did they even have razors? My goodness!
So the point being that like people are thinking of that shit for years before we came along. What chance have we got?
They've got more time as well. Do you know what I mean?
Nothing going on.
They've got more time. They've got less. They probably do less in their 60s because they died earlier, but. You know, they've got less going on, I would suggest.
I also read, I don't know if this is true or not, and by the way, apparently I'm just looking at him now, William of Occam lived to the age of about 60, so good on him. But I also read...
Good age.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I also read that the idea about people in medieval times living to about 25 or whatever is actually a myth.
Right.
And the reason it's a myth is because when people look at the average age and life expectancy... they're not taking into account the sheer amount of infants that died in childbirth and very young.
Oh, so that's dragging on the average, is it?
See, if you made it to adult, I think you generally would have lived a relatively long life.
Right, I see. That makes sense. Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. I will enjoy pulling that one out. That one out my bum.
But yeah. So I think obviously we've got no real chance of doing anything original or new, have we?
No, I can't even remember what like when you find the average of something and there's like 50 ways to do it, which would discount, which would discount a lot of the aberrations like the children. I forget which one's which, to be honest.
I can tell you right now. So mean is the mathematical average calculated by adding all the values together and divided by the total number of values. That's the one we think of.
That's the
median is just the middle value.
Okay, right, okay,
and mode is just the most frequent value.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you've got to need to use the last two.
No, so then, but mode, well, not presumably. I mean, and someone will be emailing in as we speak, saying that you've got no use for those ones. I mean, if you're just trying to find the average, yeah, but like there are multitudes of uses where you need that one, I suppose.
Well, I think, for example, if it's like, how many biscuits have I eaten this week on average per day? You know, I'm probably going to be looking for I want the middle one.
No, you do. No, you find the number that is the most. The
one that appears most frequently.
The one that appears most frequently, and sort of go, right,
8.
how do we get that number down? Because that'll be the biggest number.
So,
or what's caused this? What deep sadness has caused Luke to eat 15 Garibaldis?
How long have you got? Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate says that addiction is filling a hole in the soul that needs to be filled.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So there's a deep sadness behind a lot of it.
Well, maybe the addiction to deep sadness is part of the.
You
problem,
haven't got addictive personality, have you?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. Not like
Haribo's.
Yeah, but I've also got that thing where I get obsessed with new things.
Oh, so you always move on.
So do you know what I mean? You always move on, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
That's helpful.
That is helpful.
Mine is not quite so simple as that. What about this then? A few people emailed in about me talking about an angry Belgian man waving his fist at me.
Right, I remember that now. Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people are asking, surely Pete has had an older man shake his fist at him in anger, because I think people think of your life as being a kind of cartoon. So have you ever remember annoying an older man? Not your dad, doesn't count.
A lot of cars going, like a lot of car. I had one behind me. He was in like an old Rover, and I don't know where he was going in such a rush, but like, I stopped and I was like, am I in the wrong here? And I genuinely, I just wasn't, because it was like, I'm driving down the road, someone else is driving down the road in coming the other way, and the cars are on my side, like the cars, so I've got to let that guy through, and the guy behind me is just bibbing his horn. I'm like, what? Am I just too sleepy? I couldn't really figure this out. But you just assume that everyone's. I think we had a meeting yesterday, me and you, and I said that you spoke about you honk the horn a couple of times on people being idiots, and I have never used my horn in my car for the intended purpose. I've only done it for a joke or something. But I've never honked. I've never had the foresight to sort of go. My assumption is, if someone's angry with me, or someone's doing something mad, it's because of me. And so I don't have the confidence to honk the horn immediately. But people just honk horns. Like, I've seen what's going wrong here. Honk the horn. It's such a mad thing to do. It's so loud.
Well, in other countries, it's
intrusive.
Ridiculous. I mean, obviously, we're not bad for it here. Like, even in New York City, if you ever stayed in a hotel in New York City, my goodness me. Yes,
and people know. And to be honest, in the grand scheme of, like, American cities, New York's pretty good to get around. It's not that bad. Like, it's slow, but it's not as bad as
it's
like
got public transport, I suppose. Well, you mean driving? I think it's terrible driving. One of the worst drives ever is the drive from JFK to town.
It's
fucking so bad. Like, it's so slow.
It's
like no point doing it.
If you get stuck Koreatown between West Hollywood and downtown Los Angeles, that's it.
LA's notorious.
That's LA. Just get out of your car and go for a walk. It's just
that's what I was going to say to you on the old road rage thing. Getting out the car is a big leveler.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no.
If you get involved in the car,
I'd have to hype max as I get out of the car. Yeah,
everyone's quite bold in their car. If someone gets out, that's a big leveler. I think for me, if I'm getting involved in a bit of a fucking slanging match and the guy gets out, I'm probably just driving off.
Sarah's given people the finger before, and I'm like,
mate, that is standard. What world are you living in?
Finger. Nobody's really given me the. Yes, somebody has given me the finger actually. Yeah. It was my fault.
I told you just referenced it a second ago. I'll tell you something. In London, people just walk out in front of cars, right? They just do it, especially on junctions. And this woman the other day near my house did it, right? And I knew it was one of the mums from nursery. So I genuinely, she walked straight out in front of me, and she had headphones on, so she didn't even realise I was there. So I beeped the horn just to say I'm here. She turned around and told me to fuck off.
Now, where do you go from there? Did you bring it up when you saw her next?
No, I don't know her well enough. I recognise her from the nursery. I don't know her.
Right, okay.
But she seems like a nice, normal mum.
Could you get your son to exact revenge inside Porky?
Yeah, the problem is he won't do anything I say.
Right, it's a good point actually. Yeah, I've got no respect in my house.
I'm bottom. I'm below.
She does
two cats,
not listen to me.
a 3-year-old boy, and a woman. I'm right at the bottom.
She doesn't listen to me, and I'm like, well, I do have to sort of tell you to do stuff sometimes, but there's just no
part of it, isn't
it? It's a anything I have to do, I have to physically do it. Pick up, brush the teeth. I've got to do all of those things. Put the clothes on.
That's interesting to me. So when you're on a schedule in the morning and you have to get your daughter dressed and get her to brush her teeth, is that a nightmare?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad, but I'm not making her do it. I'm just getting it done. I'm just like, let's get these on. Let's get the socks on. There's never any socks. I don't know where the socks go, but there's never any socks. There's never a place for the socks to be. But the socks are on, the shoes are, and I'm just and also just sorting through shoes that seem the feet are growing at an alarming rate. I don't know what size she is anymore. I'm just confused. The shoes that I thought fitted her don't fit her anymore, and it's just a constant battle with space, time. It's quantum feet sizes. It could be any size until I put the shoes on.
So you get the shoe,
and then
it's the wrong one.
And then it's the wrong one.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty full on, isn't it? It's easy on like weekend days when you haven't got to do anything.
Watch nudie Saturday, nudie Sunday.
Oh, that's for you in Japan. Should we read a couple of emails before we go? We've got to do the batteries, I guess, as well.
Let's do it for crying out loud.
Do you want to do the battery first?
Please. Let's do the battery first. This is from Dean Chu. We've heard from Dean Chu before. He's
Definitely.
a friend of a couple of our stack projects.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey guys, one for Luke and the battery robot / battery daddy, of course. A Green Bay Packers battery. Green Bay Packers battery. In with a load of other batteries as well. Nice to see in a Rayovac charger. Green Bay Packers. It's one of those sponsored batteries, isn't it? It's one of those kind of.
Yeah, do we like those or not? I can't remember.
Yeah, we let him. By the end, we let in any old muck. So yeah, Green Bay Packers branded logoed up battery. If you're like a massive fan of like merch and your football team and stuff, it must be quite annoying to sort of use those up and then put them.
They're going to be shit batteries, though, aren't they?
I don't know. You never know what they've been branded from. You wouldn't want an inferior battery if you were. And maybe you could have like a little, the Burnley battery's good until Christmas. Oh.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be, you wouldn't want to be,
it falls out of the
associated
machine.
with poor power, would you?
No, exactly.
So, Dean, thanks for sending these in. We've had Green Bay Packers battery once before.
Right.
Sent by the brilliantly named Stanton Smith back in 2021.
Stanton.
So it's a rare battery, but it's not a new player. But thank you anyway for sending it in.
Nice.
What about this from our friend Max? We talked a bit about Rise of the Foot Soldier, didn't we? So this is an email on that subject. Max says, hi guys, you mentioned on Monday's show about Pete's algorithm serving him up clips of Suits and the Rise of the Foot Soldier. Well, mine does
and
exactly
Mad Men
the
now.
same. Pardon?
And Mad Men now, which I'm quite happy with. I'm loving reliving the Mad Men stuff.
Well, Max says that his does exactly the same, as well as that Dross Cowboy series, Yellowstone. I'm not sure if that's Dross, is it? I don't know. People like it, don't know. I've not seen it. I don't know.
Well, everything's Dross in it if you watch it enough, I suppose.
He said, I'm not sure if I should be worried that our tech overlords seem to have me filed into the same category as Pete. But on the subject of Rise of the Foot Soldier, it reminded me of my ex-partner's parents, who are both from Essex, and absolute caricatures of people from Essex, to the point where I think if you wrote them in the sitcom, people would be offended at how one-dimensional they are. Anyway, they once asked me for some film recommendations. I asked what kind of genre they were looking at, and they said they like gangster films. So being the knowledgeable cinephile I am, I recommended some of the classics. Goodfellas, Casino, etc. To which they told me they exclusively watch films that have Danny Dyer in them. So this was a fair few years ago before Danny's rebrands a national treasure. Truly bizarre stuff. Well, you can watch The Business there in that case, because Danny Dyer's in that, and that's a kind of gangster movie, isn't
it? He'd love living around my house because my neighbour, Stu, is the spit of Danny Dyer.
Tell us more about that.
He just looks like Danny Dyer. I mean, he's interesting because like I think he's left EastEnders now, and I do sort of look. When he first started, he was Great White Hope, did Pinter and all that business in the theatre, and he obviously, by all accounts, just slid into a very comfortable life doing EastEnders and those kind of films and stuff. And he left EastEnders and recently, I think, and I remember thinking, God, how's he gonna pay the rent and stuff? But turns out like. you can get by being Danny Dyer, because there is an entire county who absolutely love you and your daughter. And no matter what you do, you'll always get money. Like, money will just find you.
But he's also had a real kind of resurgence, because obviously he got that BAFTA for Mr. Big Stuff, which is quite funny. That's quite sharply written, and he's good in it.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's actually all right. Yeah, I think it's all right. I watched the first series. I thought it was fine. I didn't love it or anything, but it was fine. And he's good in it. He is funny in it. And he's got this new big show movie coming out, hasn't he? Called One Last Deal, which I think is it might be a Sky. You know, Sky make their own movies now. It might be one of those, I think.
Right, okay.
I don't know if it's any good or not, but it's been advertised very...
Jimmy Banks.
Yeah, it's been advertised very frequently. Where he plays
I look at the poster and was he like a city but a sports agent, right? Yeah. Okay. He's just good, but he just gets bad stuff to do. Bless him.
I think
his socks.
Look, he's obviously made his mistakes in the past, and he's obviously paid the price for that. I saw an episode of that show. I think it might just be called The Audience, where they have a load of kind of neurodiverse people in the crowd who get to ask a famous person who sits in the middle any question they want.
Right. Okay.
And the Danny Dyer one is brilliant.
It's like an inside the actor's studio, but with like interesting questions, isn't it? He's like, didn't he sort of?
He's brilliant.
Was that when he's telling the story about he had that play to do and he turned up? He just went out all night on the old.
No, he talks about that on Louis Theroux, I think.
Right, I see.
This one is like the questions are a lot more kind of like a mixture of like frivolous, but also really hard hitting. He gets really upset in it and stuff. Like, it's a really good format, and he comes across, I mean, whatever you think of, he comes across very authentic in it. But there we go. Anyway, Peter, do you want to take us out of here on that note?
Let's take us out of here.
We'll be back. Mug.
We'll be back winning British Academy Television Awards for Best Male Comedy Performances for the role of Mr. Big Stuff. Next week on the show, Monday. If you want to get to the show, as always, it is hello@lukeandpeteshow.com. Get us on the YouTube comments, get us in the Spotify comments, and we'll see you later.
See ya.